Today I'm going to do a painting of from a photograph I took in Norwich a few years ago. This is Paul's Ferry. Must have been a ferryman who lived there and would bring the pilgrims across from the river that goes up here, the River Wenson, and haul them into the across the river or row them around to the appropriate gate entrance. And of course they would probably be pilgrims coming to Norwich Cathedral. I particularly like this photograph because of the nice shapes. Got this tower here, but this lovely curve here down to the river, nice arch with some shadows, and the foliage here, different greens, light here. The light is coming, I think, from right to left. You see the shadows cast by this higher roof here. You've got these light catching here on these greens, so they're sort of pale and washed out. But then you've got the light on this vivid green here, which is sort of yellow and a nice spring bright green. And we've got the different textures of the flint here, which is very common you see in the Norfolk area. Greens and shadows all along here. But essentially I've got to try and keep this bright here and contrast it with these. So let's have a go at that. So I'm going to start with yes, we should wash in a light colour first of all. In our sky, there's cloudless actually, and there's not a lot of it to see. But I'm just going to put a light wash of some ultramarine in there. Today I'm going to use a different set of paints. I generally use Winsor & Newton, but I've got this rather nice set here of Sennelier French paints. They are tremendous range of colours there. This set was given to me actually by my daughter to concentrate on botanical. It's got a selection of colours which lend themselves to flowers and botanicals, but you can make all your colours if you mix the primary colours, the reds and blues and yellow. You can create any colour. So I'm going to have a go for a change and see if the change of palette makes my picture look any different. So grab a little bit of ultramarine. Oh, it's very intense, these colours. Incredibly. Yes, it's certainly a dark, more vivid, more intense than my usual watercolour. I use Winsor & Newton Codman as a rule, so these are somewhat different. It's good to ring the changes. I'm going to leave that like that, and we've got to get rid of this this big sweep of courtyard here. So I'm just going to paint this in, just wet it up a little bit, and get some, now what should I do? We want a sort of fairly earthy colour. This is sort of a roadway. Let's see what we can concoct from this mixtures. Oh yes, that's nice. That's a mixture of yellows and reds that I've got on my palette. This is a squirrel brush or mop brush. It's good to get a general background sweep in there. So this is our base colour. And with watercolour, the convention is to paint from light to dark. We put our light colours in first of all, and then we build it up with layers. But I think I'm going to, while this is wet, on wet, I think I'm going to just put a few darker tones in to give me some directional lines. Got this sweep of the driveway coming around here, darker colours here. I could put a little bit of blue into this actually. Just make it a little bit of purpley colour. That's it. We don't want it too light in our foreground here. And this is a nice shadowy colour actually. Well, I've got that reddish colour. Let's create a bit of a shadow here. It's a big tree here, casting a shadow. I'll leave it there. Got sort of tarmacy fissure going up there, different marks of the road. And this is a big bit of green, so I'm going to mix something up now. It's Alright, just get my first wash in there. And I notice there's out here, it's quite bright. The other side on the river's edge there. Just going to leave a little bit of light there. And I can see some greens here. Right, okay. Should I get some of these trees in, I think, to help frame it? See, I've sketched it out. Of course, I've got the old river house here and the archway, a few interesting arches. I've got to get all of flint work here. Another house there, or another bit of the building with the sort of more terracotta colour. And grey walls here. Okay, flint and that tower there. But let's put some, get some tree colours in. So we've got some nice greens here. Some of them are quite dark in places, so I think we've got to go with that. Bring it down. Yes, it's nice to use these paints. Bring the change. It's very creamy. Some lighter colours there. dark in here actually. We've got to get that in. Leave a few sky holes in places. I think we need some more yellow. Let's get some different yellow this time. This is just deep yellow. Yes, and then a deep yellow. So we'll put a bit out on our palette there to mix with our blues. Give some different tones. Yes, that's okay. It's quite a dark body in the middle there. And down here, because the sun's not getting through much here. Just butting up to this buildings here. So, and I've got quite a dark area here. So I'll mix some blue with my yellows. Pinch there. Okay, gives us something a bit. Make it a little bit wetter, I think. And we have lighter in this area, so let's get a much paler green. Try and suggest something here. Beauty of this, these mop brushes carry a lot of water, but they've got a nice little point on it too, so you can suggest some leaf structure if you're careful. We have to bring it right down. Sort of envelops this building actually, these trees and dark. And it comes right down actually over this wall. I've got to do that. Shaded area under there. Right. A little bit of a loose bit of water there. Right, I think we should maybe leave that for the moment. Although I'm just looking, I I need to give some brighter yellows in here, because it's definitely catching some more light. Coming right to left here. We can drop some all in here. Some of these whiter areas. Contrast there, you want lots of contrast and variety, randomness really. Darker under there. I'm going to put a tree trunk in there in a moment. Now there's a little bit more light green, yellowy. In there, I think. But I need to get a real dark green in the heart of that tree though. Let's get something there. Yes. I think we need that to darken that up a bit. So actually I added a little bit of red to my mixture there. Strange as it may seem, but it helps you give a slightly different dark tone. Right. And this, got a tree down here. Another one, another trunk there. And up in this area too, I noticed we could get some suggestion or trunks, main boughs showing through. Get some green in here. Trees up, shrubs up against this wall, and also on this side. Keep them fairly light. As I said, the light's coming here, so let's try and suggest something there. And there's some different greens out there. Right, and a little bit of green on this wall. Okay, we go that. Here I've got some posts. Let's get a different brush and lift out here these, get some tissue, I can lift this, look, like that, with a damp brush, You just lift it off onto your bit of tissue. So I've got a big post here. This is good paper. This is Langton's, £140 in weight. So you can do some corrections with good quality paper. You can lift things. It's not something you can always do with a cheap paper or lightweight paper. So I've got I'll be able to draw these in a bit later and put some shadow sides in and everything. I've just got them there for the give us some sense of shape to our composition. Oh, I've noticed I've got a few suggestions of a tree in that area. This brush is a number 12 round, Dalerone again, Aquafine. Very nice brush. It's got a nice tip on it, so you can be very precise if you wish to be. I want to make sure I've got some darks in there. I need a bit of water there to get rid of some of those light paper which is showing there too much. Right, okay, let's get on with that building. So how are we going to do that? We need some ochre colours, really. Let me see what I can get with my paints here. Now this colour would do for this bit of this roof. Yes, I think we can do that. That's fairly close to what I want. Comes up to here. This is a little bit of dry brush work, so it allows some of the highlights to show through on my paper, using the paper to give me those lights, which is a characteristic of watercolour. And I need to do this one. It's a slightly, we've got to ring the changes. So I've got a little bit of that green, a little bit of blue, just hints at different colours to keep it interesting. That's right, I think that was a bit more like what we want. Right. Okay, there we are. And that little there, just to the left here. I've got to keep that light. I think I'll just put something in. Just a shade to take off the glaring white. I need some darker shadow colour. Let's get a bit of blue, a bit of crimson alizarin, I think. Well, it's wet on wet. See if we can. Yes, there's all shadow here. It's all shadowed area. Coming up there. And it's under here. Quite dark as well. A window here, almost obscured by the tree. Got dark windows here. There as well. Another one. Right. Now we've got those two. And a big shadowed area coming like this. Coming right on the face here. Yes, I think we can sweep it like that. Sorry about this, this board is swiveling around. Need to tighten that up. I don't know why it's doing that. My photo tripod. Right, I think I need to have a little bit darker in places on this roof. Right. And under here, under the eaves, quite dark there. A little, almost a dormer window there. Okay, let's leave that for the moment. Now let's do with some of these other surfaces. Oh, what I was going to do was that little bit of white down there. But those two buildings, I'm just going to pinch a bit of colour from there. Bring it down like that. Okay. How far does it come? Yes, that'll do. And we need, I want to keep that face light. A bit of stonework there. We need too glaring white. And then we need to get some of these surfaces done too. Let's get a bit of greyish colour in for this flinty wall. What we do with that? Right, let's try and leave some sparkles to suggest the flint. Right. And again, all along here. All flint. And right, yes, we want to put some little highlights, little accents of other colours in there in a minute. Let's just get something in here. And all over this arch area. Right. And this, we've got to get this right. That's got to be a lot lighter. So you can do this sometimes by darkening up an adjacent area by some trick of the eye. Makes that look lighter than it would otherwise be. So I need to have some darker elements in places. Right. And along here needs to be a bit darker. And I will put some darker windows in. Get something going there, a bit of blue. Make it dark. This window, these two. And right. Three little windows here. But let's get something of that flint area too. So let's get some almost a neutral tone. Hint of blue maybe. Bluey green. Just hint at it. Like that. Coming down. think I need a little redder in there. Little red, little orange. Get a more terracotta colour. Browner. With a little hint of red. Would give us more interesting. I think that's what we need. Right. Use some of that here on this face. It's adjacent building. There. And we have, there are elements of brick actually around here. So I need to deal with that. This column here, brickwork here. Yes, under here. Right. Now we have to have something darker in this. What have we got here? Look very carefully. It's a dark passageway here, I think. So there's a mixture of flint and brickwork in some of these buildings here. I'm trying to suggest that anyway. It's here, yes, I think we can put something a bit darker in there. Suggest some foliage and some shrubs growing in there. As you walk through there. So here too. Now this wall, I've got a couple of different arches here actually. Try and look carefully at my reference. It's quite a complicated picture actually. Sometimes it's you need to simplify it. I think that's what I need to do here. An arch there. Dark element there. Right. Now I've got to keep it light through that archway, so there are a little bit of activity going on in there. Some boats and hints of other buildings. We'll get to that in a moment. Needs to be a bit darker there. It's very dark here. There's hints of railings as well. Can do that. A little niche there, a little arch. We've got to get a bit of shadow in some area, I can see, along this base under here. I haven't really got enough shadow showing there. Down this one. Under there. Right. Okay. We need something here. That's the flint, isn't it? It's just a little wash of little blue over that flinty area. Can put a little dabs of different colour, perhaps. Suggest some flint. Okay, let's leave it there. Now, what are we going to do with that? That again. Just a kind of wash in of colour actually to suggest the flint. So many different colours in the flint. I need to have shadow as well down across here. It's coming right across there, cast by this tower area. They've got little bits of brickwork along there, and I'm going to try and show this different faces of this tower area. That's better, I think. Right. And see little bits of interest over here. Still be darker there. I can see hints of rails out here on the riverbank. People falling in, I guess. And we've got a bit of water there showing. The cabin cruiser, I think, moored out there, so we'll hint at that. And I noticed we've got a brick wall. Or it's capped with brick, let's say that. So I'll get a little bricky colour to suggest the caps of this wall on there. And well, we've got a bit of a more vivid colour. Let's put some more brick-like colour there. We were a bit mean with our colour, and this as well. More colour there, coming down to the top of this wall that's coming along here. This archway needs some brick colour as well. And this pillar here. Okay, that's a bit more like it. I can see some rails in here as well. They need to have a gate. I think they do. Brick on there. Add a bit more colour, I think. Suggest those tiles there. Just dab it along there. Right. Got some along there. That brick comes right out here. Put a pillar there. Let's get a bit of yellow. See if we can get something on that wall there. We put some shadow on that as well. You can notice as some shadow is being cast up here. I've got shadows all along here. bit of green somewhere here, under there. Right, a bit better. Let's get some brighter bits of green in here. There were some odd flecks of light green there. Okay, we can use some lights there. Using the side of my brush now to try and suggest some grasses. Could need a little darker green, give me contrast with that lighter vegetation I got going up the wall. Again, get some contrast. And here, I think we could go with a much darker green on this hedge. This hedge is need to project it a little bit more. Let's give it something here. It's projecting out here. I think we should do that. Give me a bit of, along this wall, it's rather too uniform. I think I'm looking carefully and I can see reds, little bits of vegetation, sort of purpley colour almost. Coming over here, it's a bit too strong. Let's smudge it out a bit. Digital art we have here. Uses my finger there. Oh, that's better. Got this kind of plant you often see hanging over walls. Not quite sure what it is. Oh, I've just noticed a bit of, we can get a nice green, get a bit of blue up, mix with our yellow. There is a nice little bit of green coming there. And also we've got some here, like an edge, like a verge. Let's make more of that. Let's bring it out. If it works for your picture, that's all you want. Doesn't have to be entirely accurate. But I think we could have a little bit of shadow over there, shadow of green. A little bit on that wall there, bit of interest. Now let me think. Should I get some? Yes, I think I should get some whites in. We can put some highlights in with some Chinese white. But I can notice I've got to put some more shadows under the eaves, I think, under here. Need to show that. That will help us get an eye on the line of that building, I think. A little better. And we've got the shadow coming across there. Do we need a bit more here? Give more form to that tower, perhaps. And this line is not drawn so well. Need to improve that. Show the line of that building. Right. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and tap in a few comments perhaps if you like what I'm doing. So, and suggestions as well. If you think you'd like to see some other sort of painting, to let me know, because I like to be challenged. So I think I'm nearly out of battery. So let's just put in a few quick amendments here. Although I do need to put in some gouache to highlight some things. So perhaps I should grab that some white quickly before my battery goes. And a tiny brush. Where can I find my tube of gouache? Yes, here it is. Always at the bottom of the old pot. So let's get a small brush. Yes, here we are. Got a nice small brush, which will allow me to get a nice, strong, thick white going here to give me some highlights. So I think I want to put some along that line there. Also along this, bit of that dormer coming out there. But also down here, some white stones along here, and along that edge, help show the face of that tower system there. There's also some lights out there, a shaft of light. So we can do that. There are whites out there. Oh, I know we need to perhaps put a bit more there on this window. Try and draw some line in there. suggest some of the framing. Right. So we'll draw that line a bit better there. Tops of the building will catch a bit of sunlight as well. So we could do that. Along here we have some cobbles. So I'm going to see if we can suggest some sort of... Well, there's my my finished painting. I've been doing a little bit of gouache there to get some of the highlights. Put in these posts with a bit of shadow area on them. Did a little bit of work on that flint wall there. Generally darkened up in here, so those trunks of those trees there, and a bit of yellow to emphasize our sunlight. But let's take off the tape and give us a sharp edge, which is always nice. Get the reveal and off the top. There we go with that. And here, the final one. There we have it. Now that's Paul's ferry, who was apparently a ferryman, perhaps in the Middle Ages. Used to pull people across there, row them across the water of the river Wensum there in Norwich. Anyway, if you like it, please give me a like and touch the subscribe button so you'll be notified of any other work that I do. So thanks for watching.